My name is Ryan Goodside. I'm the founder and president of the Student Loan Help Group. This presentation will be recorded for future use, as well as providing it to anyone who was unable to make it today. For full disclosure, we're not going to be recording the Q&A portion of this meeting, just the presentation from the TSLHG team. Just to give you a brief background, we've been in business for over a decade, assisting educators and others with their student loans. We know that it is imperative that you're comfortable working with us first. So we want you to know some of our credentials. We are an approved vendor with Florida Public Schools, as well as being licensed with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Both of those required fingerprinting and background checks, as well as we holding a large surety bond with the state of Florida. Our team's goal and mission are to save you as much money as we possibly can, and to help move your file forward in an expeditious manner. We handle each file as if we're dealing with our own student loans. Our team specifically will closely monitor your file during any loan transitions that may be necessary to keep your loans on the right track and mitigate any issues which may arise. This is a very valuable part of our service. We also assist in all forms of communication with your servicer or your collection agency, such as faxes, follow-ups, updates, and phone calls. Our team also stays in close contact with you throughout this process by sending you document requests, approvals, and courtesy follow-ups throughout the year. We do all this through emails, phone calls, and text messages to ensure you do have an open line of communication with us. Our services also include preparing mortgage and credit reference letters. We assist with teach grant recertification, refund requests, and forbearance and deferment requests. Sometimes we hear from you all, oh, I'll just check with my friend, and they're working towards the same program. However, we found this could actually be a mistake because no two files are the same. There are small nuances and details that may change even if you are working towards the same program as a friend. Some of those things could be loan types, cutoff dates, details that really make a difference toward your eligibility. So make sure you get your personalized consultation reserved so you can find out exactly where you're at, what you need to do, and how to get on the right track if you're not already. We pride ourselves on customer satisfaction. We truly do, and we always strive to create the best loan situation for all of our clients. We know that's why we've maintained an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and a 5-star rating on Google over the last decade. So everyone is aware what to expect during our presentation today. The format we're going to use is one of my enrollment team members will explain the eligibility requirements and the details of federal loan forgiveness programs, followed by a processing team member explaining some of the details and heavy lifting that they do on your file day to day. During which we know you may have questions that pop up. We encourage you to please just write them down so you can get them answered at the end during our QA time, or even better during your personalized complimentary consultation. A link was provided to your email when you reserved your spot. So if you're just joining now, you can find the link in the chat box. I don't know if it's below or to the side of you. It should say tslhg.click Broward to make it easy to recognize. Before we get into the details of these programs, I'm going to hand it over to Fedra Ekris, who's briefly going to go over what to expect, what to have handy so that you're prepared for your personalized consultation. Fedra, take it away.
Thank you, Ryan. Good afternoon. My name is Fedra Ekris, and I'm an enrollment counselor. During your phone consultation, we'll look at your loans and go over exactly where you're at, what you're eligible for, and what you need to do. Appointments typically take 30 to 45 minutes, and things to have handy are email access, your adjusted gross income, yours and your spouse's if filing taxes jointly, the FSA login information, which is the studentaid.gov website, so we can look at the details and history of your loans. pen and paper to take notes on all the excellent information we will give you. And we do have bilingual enrolling counselors and processors to assist those who are more comfortable conversing in Spanish.
Así es, contamos con representantes bilingües en todos nuestros departamentos en caso de que alguien prefiera tratar de esos temas en español específicamente. Next is going to be Patty talking about PSLF.
Thanks, Carlos. Hello, everyone. I'm Patty Ogilvie, and I'm a senior enrollment counselor. Today, I'm going to go over public service loan forgiveness, also known as PSLF. You are all eligible for this program because you're all employees of Broward County Public Schools. PSLF is available to anyone who is considered a full-time employee working for a public service employer. This is any state, county, local, federal government, or 501c3 nonprofit organization, no matter what your position is with a public service employer. PSLF requires that you make 120 income-driven payments on your direct loans while employed full-time 30+ hours a week in a public service position. An income-driven payment is always based on your income and your household size, and your payment is determined by the Department of Education based on this information. Every year, your income, household size, and your employment must be recertified in order to be considered making a qualifying payment. After those 120 qualifying payments have been made, the remaining balance will be forgiven by the DOE. That's principal, interest, and that's tax-free. Just to give you an idea how difficult the Department of Education makes this process, the last quarterly info reported by the DOE is for the quarter ending April 2021. It shows that 168,197 new PSLF applications were submitted and only 3,458 were approved. That's a denial rate of over 98%. We're talking about intelligent people like yourselves, teachers, professors, doctors, lawyers, and professional people. Our team will ensure that you're not part of that 98% because they audit everything before anything is ever submitted on your behalf. For teachers planning to retire soon, no worries. There's another great federal program called Income-Driven Repayment Forgiveness. This is also known as IDRF. This program does not require a specific employer or even that you're employed. The main difference between PSLF and IDRF is that PSLF requires 120 qualifying payments and IDRF is 240 to 300, depending on your loan details. The great news is that any qualifying payments you made while working towards PSLF are also considered qualifying for IDRF. You'll be able to transition into this program without losing any qualifying payments, and you won't need to start over from payment number 1. This program is also great for family and friends who may not work for a public service employer. So I'm going to hand this over to Evan, and he's going to cover some common issues that arise with PSLF and all the great work that our team does on your behalf. Evan, you want to explain more?
Absolutely. Thank you, Patty, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Evan Chatstakis, and I'm a loan processor here at Student Loan Help Group. To expand a little bit more on Patty's points, some of the reasons for the 98% denial rate that you just went over are loan date origination, loan type, or whether you have direct loans, Perkins loans, private loans, being on the wrong repayment plan, not working a contracted full-time position, and simply just not filling out the employment certification form correctly. These are all avoidable issues that we will help you to prevent. Our number one goal is always to help you and never to hurt you in any way. Keep in mind that servicers have a conflict of interest because they make compounded annual interest off of your loan. So the more time that loan is stretched out, the more money they're going to put into their pocket at the end of the day. Our team audits all employment certifications before and after submission, and we will submit them to the properly authorized official at your place of employment. We will then check and double check FEIN numbers and submit them to the servicer after verifying. Once ECs are approved, we will audit the qualifying payment counts to ensure that no payments were missed and all eligible payments were included. We can accomplish this highly detailed and time-sensitive work because we have a proprietary cloud-based workflow and dispatch queue system that enables us to know where you are in the process based on your plan of action, when to request documents, and when to follow up with you or your servicer. We do income reviews and to forecast your estimated payment amount and compare it to your IDR approval to make sure that your payment is always as accurate as possible. Then we do all income-driven repayment submissions and a thorough audit of detailed income documents and authorization forms. This ensures that you get the lowest monthly payment every year based on your income and household size until you finally receive your forgiveness. Many times servicers will approve you for the wrong income-driven plan, and you won't know that your loans were on the wrong plan until you've made your 120 payments, or at least you thought you did. Then, when you go to apply for forgiveness with the Department of Education, your forgiveness will many times be denied. Your servicer may also place you on an income-driven plan that doesn't give you the lowest possible payment. Another situation that we commonly see is that your payment plan will be approved for a higher amount than it should have been because your servicer did not use the correct proof of income for their calculation. We will detect and correct these servicer errors for you before it's too late. We audit deductions and review payment periods, such as if you're paid over 10 or 12 months, so that we can assist in lowering your monthly payment to ensure that it is as low as possible and is accurately recalculated based on any changes to your income and household size throughout the entire life of your loans. And just another reminder, there is a consultation link in the Zoom chat box, so please be sure to check the link and schedule your personalized complimentary consultation before you leave the meeting this afternoon. Thanks again to everybody for attending, and I will now pass it over to Sam so she can elaborate a little bit more on teacher loan forgiveness.
Thank you, Evan. Good afternoon. I'm Sam Pettingill, one of the enrollment counselors here at the Student Loan Help Group, and I'll be speaking with you today about teacher loan forgiveness. Now, teacher loan forgiveness is a program some of you may have already heard about. Many teachers tell us early in their consultation, I work for a Title I school, because they know that's one path to loan forgiveness. But the program does have several additional requirements that are important to keep in mind. First off, TLF is ideal for classroom teachers who don't have a large amount of debt. While this program offers a fixed amount of forgiveness that's often lower than public service loan forgiveness, you can receive forgiveness faster and you may be eligible already. TLF is open to teachers who provide direct classroom teaching or classroom type teaching in a non-classroom setting and who have taught full-time for 5 complete and consecutive academic years in a Title I school or schools. If you're using employment in multiple Title I schools to reach that 5-year requirement, any gap between contracts will reset the 5-year period. There are a few other important prerequisites to be aware of as well. First, you must not have had any outstanding student loans on October 1st, 1998. You must also have your full state teaching certification and at least a bachelor's degree during all 5 years of service. For the majority of highly qualified teachers, TLF offers $5,000 in forgiveness. However, math and science teachers in middle and high schools or ESE certified teachers who are listed as ESE teachers with their district and teach in those subjects or perform those duties are eligible for up to $17,500 in forgiveness. Now, if done correctly, TLF takes 3 to 5 months to be approved, and it's important to note that TLF forgiveness can only be received once. What if you're teaching in a Title I school, but you haven't reached 5 years of service yet? If your balance is lower than the amount that you would have forgiven by TLF, but you haven't taught a full 5 years, we can request TLF forbearance so that no monthly payments are necessary while you finish out your service. If you're eligible for both TLF and PSLF, it is possible to receive forgiveness from both programs, but any time used toward TLF cannot also be counted toward PSLF. So for example, if you made 10 years of qualifying payments on your loans, and then you applied for TLF, the 5-year period used for TLF couldn't also be counted toward public service loan forgiveness, PSLF. That means you would need to make 5 more years of qualifying payments before being eligible for PSLF again. So if your balance is high, it's generally best to go with PSLF. Now I'm going to turn it over to Andrew, who will cover some of the common issues that borrowers encounter with TLF.